Hi everyone, it's Cristina. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a DIY diabetes awareness sweatshirt. And by DIY, I don't mean I'm going to like knit a sweatshirt. No, the sweatshirt is already made, but I'm going to put a design on it. So here's what we're going to use: this gray sweatshirt. And this is what I'm going to use to put the design on it. It's an iron-on paper, and I'm going to use black and a little tiny bit of red. And I'm also going to be using my Cricut Export Air 2 and my Cricut Easy Press to press the iron-on transfer paper on there. So okay, let's get started. Okay guys, so here is the Cricut design space. This is what I use to make my design. And I just wanted to show you guys just kind of how I went about making it. I made this like a couple of months ago, and it's pretty easy. All you have to do is all I did was pick out like a font to do my letters. And I did have to end up changing this design. You'll see later why. But yeah, here they have a lot of fonts available, and some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for, but yeah, they have lots of options. And then if you want to add like an image or something, you go to images and then you type in what you're looking for. Like me, I was looking for diabetes images, and so I put in diabetes, and it came up with a lot of different things, even with like words and pictures. So if you can see right there where it says diabetes awareness, I actually use that one in my design, but I just cut off the word awareness and I wanted to add a different font to it, so I just added it like as a font. But yeah, it has a lot of options, so that's cool. So here's our design, and now I'm gonna hit make it so that we can go ahead and cut it out with our machine. And now, like it says there, it's sorting out the project into mats by color, so it separates the colors. And when you're doing iron on, you have to make sure and you turn on mirror on, which means it'll cut it out backwards because the sticky part is on the other side. So that way we have to cut it out, and then it's gonna stick. We're gonna press it on and it's gonna stick to the material, so we have to put it backwards. And here we're going to send it off to our machine so that it can start cutting it out. And we have to set our dial to iron on because you have to pick what kind of material you're going to be cutting. And now our machine is ready. If you can see the little blinking light, it's ready to go. So we have to get our cutting mat, which is this green mat right here. It's a little beat up. But yeah, I'm going to put my paper, my iron-on transfer paper onto the cutting mat, and then we're going to feed it through the machine. This is the red one. I just need a little tiny piece, so that's why I'm just going to cut it, because it's no use of putting that whole sheet on there if I'm just going to use a little square. So I'm just going to cut out a tiny square and stick it on there. So now I'm going to feed the cutting mat through the machine. I have to push the arrow so that it could like feed it through, and then I'll push the Cricut button so that it can start cutting. Since I used a long cutting mat, I was able to put both colors on the mat, like one color on one side and then the other color on the end. So this is the same mat where I cut out the black one. So now I just turned it around and I'm cutting off that tiny little piece of red that I'm using. So here I just wanted to show you that little thing that it cut out. You can barely tell, but yeah. And then I will show you the black one, how it came out. You can see it better on the other side, but yeah, there's how it all got cut out. Okay guys, so now I'm going to weed out all the stuff that I don't need. This, I really should have moved it lower down because it's like right on the edge. I hope it still turns out good, but yeah, I need to cut this, all the excess, and then I need to weed out anything that I don't want to be on the sweatshirt. This I can cut it even smaller. Then this is what I mean by weeding out. I'm going to take off, because the only thing I'm going to need is that little red dot. Okay, so that's ready. Now I need to do this one, which is going to be a little bit more complicated. Okay, so this I can save it and use it for something else. And now I need to weed this out very carefully. Okay guys, so I had a different design. This, I had to cut out, I had words up here and in the middle, but they just did not work out. My Cricut machine didn't, I think it needs like a sharper blade or something, but it didn't cut it out right. So I didn't want to like ruin the whole thing. So what I did was I just cut those out, the words that didn't work out. And I'm going to replace them with other words. So for now, I'm just going to stick on these, and then I'm going to make the other words and put them over this. So let me get my Cricut Easy Press and we'll stick it on. Okay, so my Easy Press is nice and heated up, so I'm going to first press it once by itself so it can be nice and warm here. I think I'm gonna put it right about here. And I'm just gonna press along this whole area. So it can be nice and warm. Okay. I'm going to put this down. Now there's going to be a word up here, so maybe right around there. I don't want to mess this up. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I wish I would have made it bigger, but that's okay for now. Okay, now let me get my Z press. And I'm going to press down. Alrighty. You know what, guys? I totally forgot to use the Cricut pad that it comes with. So I'm going to do it again, but on the other side. Because they say to like flip it over and do it on the other side so it can stick better. And then the time and the temperature, guys, I got it from the paper, from this. It tells you directions on the back, and it'll give you like what temperature and what and how long to press it. Okay, and I'm gonna do it one more time on the front since I hadn't used that pad. It like supposed to absorb the heat or something like that. I'm gonna do it one more time. Okay, so now I'm gonna wait a little bit for it to cool down before I peel that off. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. And then we need to add that little red. This one, I'm gonna add this right here. Oh, it's hot. Okay guys, so I let this cool down a little bit and now I'm going to peel it off. It looks like it's stuck pretty well. Wow, that looks really nice. It's really stuck down. It looks pretty good. Okay, so like I said, I am going to be adding a word here and a word here, but I haven't cut it out yet because I just decided to do that. So right now I wanted to do the red little drop that goes here. So I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to put this back on to protect this. And I think I'm going to do it, maybe I only have to do it once since it's just a little area. Let's just do the back side just to make sure. Okay, so there we go. Gonna let it cool down again. And then I need to cut out the other words so we can stick those, and that'll be it. Okay, I let that cool down for a minute. Well, a couple minutes. That is really red. Alrighty. And there we go. Oh my gosh, I really like it. It's really bright. It looks like it could maybe use another press, but I'm gonna leave it like that for now, and whenever I put the other words, it'll get another press. So I think so far it looks really good. I like how the black and red look on the gray. Looks really nice. And then I think the other words, it's gonna say, well, if you already saw previously, it's gonna say type 1 diabetes awareness. But the type 1 and the awareness, that did not work out. The font was a little weird. It had too many little parts to it, so I picked a more solid font, and I'm gonna put it, I think, in red so we can have more red here. Okay guys, sorry I have to switch back to a voiceover on this part, but there was just too much going on around me. But okay, here is the red part that I cut out after. And I'm just adjusting it here so that the word diabetes can be like right in the middle. And now I'm going to put that plastic part back over the other black part that's exposed, because I don't want it to get ruined with the Cricut Easy Press. If I put it over that, all the heat, it'll like mess it up. So I'm covering it up so I can protect it. Okay, so here it is after the first press. I think it looks pretty good. And now I'm gonna remove this plastic part since I really don't need it right now, because I'm gonna flip it over on the other side and press it down. And now I'm going to reapply that plastic because I'm going to press it one more time. Okay guys, so here's my finished DIY diabetes awareness sweatshirt. I'm really glad I was able to save that design after I had to change it. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!